What if there is a way you could cure a toxic workplace? What if there was a strategy that would actually cure, not just help it to go away for a bit or get things to calm down? Like some leaders will say, Joyce, can you help us calm things down? Why don't we want to cure those kinds of situations? My name is Joyce Odidison, and welcome to today's episode of the Resilience Catalyst. And I'm going to focus on the cure for workplace toxicity. I don't know about you, but if you've ever worked in a toxic workplace, it's not funny. It's the kind of environment where you you dread going to work and you dread being at work. The thought of work just starts to give you anxiety, stress. There's uncertainty. You never know what to expect. You never know what's going to go well. You are always on pins and needles. You may be getting accused, blamed, bullied, or even harassed without any recourse. This kind of toxic workplace where communication breakdown happens is a key factor in the energy drain for a lot of employees in the workplace and is causing burnout and leading to mental health issues in the workplace. And so we have to do something about it. And one of the things that I wanted us to think about today is what is the cure? You see, I have been doing this for 28 years, and I'll go into workplaces and I will see situations. And these are not funny situations, these are situations that are quite toxic, where people are unable to get along with each other. But one of the things that I've noticed is that some of the individuals who contribute to the toxicity at work, they just keep showing up. They're like the common denominator. And after some time working with them, after many years, I found out that these individuals have issues in all their relationships. It's not just their workplace relationship. So, in order for you to get resolution and actually heal the workplace toxicity, you have to go to the source of the problem, which are the individuals who are causing a lot of it. So today we're going to dive into that culture cure. What does it look like? How can we RX your workplace and get you to a place where people are happy to be at work and it's exciting being at work? And if you follow me for a while, you know that for nearly 3 decades, I have been helping organizations, called into organizations where trust is broken down, places become battleground of toxicity, prolonged conflict and disengagement in teams is the norm, where people actually literally get sick just thinking about going to work. I've seen it all: silence, resentment, bullying, open hostility, and even physical violence. And you think these are adults, not kindergarten. And everything in between that I have seen. But the truth is, people who cause the most disruption are not well themselves. They're not well. And I started to notice this, right? They're living in what I call a resilience deficit. They might be functioning really well in one area. And some of them, when you talk to them, when I interview them, they they come off as brilliant people, but then you realize they're not doing well in certain areas. And when that's happened, what often happens is that people compensate. They're not doing well in one area, so they overdoing one area. And the areas where they're not doing well, if it's not being taken care of, after a while, it's that they become depleted, and it's that leaking, spilling out into interpersonal conflicts in the workplace, bullying, harassment, poor communication, lack of trust, all these kinds of things. So over time, I realized these patterns were predictable and I wanted to do something about it. I began to design a system that addressed the root cause because I was tired of seeing the same person everywhere I go. Someone would be promoted, or they would move to another department, and I would get called to that department or this organization. And like, hmm, something is going on. And this is really why the well-being intelligence system was born. And from gives us the 9 dimensions. So I was able to start showing these individuals, hey, this is where you are not doing well. Let's look at where you're not doing well and let's fix those areas. And once we did that, we started to see people transform, having more hope, having more faith, having better self esteem, being able to communicate with each other. Because that's truly what's important, being able to have good relationships. You know what? Positive psychology tells us, there's research. People who have good, healthy relationships actually live longer and are healthier. But those who don't, they are more likely to cause chaos and conflict, and they don't live as long. They're not as happy and contented in their life. So there's a saying that misery likes company. So you're probably hearing me saying, "Now you like, Joyce, what's the cure?" So what do? We don't shame them, we don't label them, we don't punish them. We help them see themselves. You hold up the mirror in a nice, loving way and you say, hey, let's see how well you're doing in these 9 dimensions, and let's see where the leaks are, where you need to develop. And you know what? Employees start saying, Joyce, I don't like my numbers. How can I fix it? How can I fix my numbers? So when we fix the people who are the problem people, the people who are challenged, then the system cures, because they are no longer causing disruption in the workplace. They are working, they're doing what they're supposed to do, they're engaging, they're communicating well, and now they're not a challenge for the workplace. I'll have leaders calling me like, Joyce, what did you do with, we'll say Joe? What did you do with Joe? He's behaving well, he's communicating well, he's respectful. We're not used to that, Joe. I didn't do anything to Joe. I just helped Joe to see that he is a multidimensional individual and that all these elements of his life is important, and he can improve those areas because here are the tools. Once Joe had that, he was able to start working. Sometimes all people need is a little bit of help, some awareness. So here are the steps we use to help them through the process. So step 1, we do diagnose. So why do we want to diagnose? Because diagnosis gives awareness, it builds awareness. Most workplaces try to fix behavior without understanding the cause. I'll get referrals. Oh, you have to work with this person. They're just belligerent. They don't get along with anyone. Coworkers are scared to work with them. Nobody wants to ask them a question. We've isolated them. I mean, just imagine someone having a leadership role, paid a leadership salary, but is over there in an office by himself because he can't work with anyone, and we dare not give him anyone else to supervise. But he has the salary and the title. That's happening too often. Or the other one is that person is given a team of people who are now miserable because that person is their leader. So what do? You help that person, right? You help that person to feel safe. Because a lot of times what we notice is that these individuals, they know that they're not doing well, but they just don't know how to fix it. We have to equip them. And if you follow my work, I go deep. I'm not into this surface, let's just patch things. I remember when I first did my master's in conflict analysis, and I was back 20 something years ago, when I started, doing different projects, and organizations will say to me, oh, we just want a settlement. I was like, I'm not your girl. I don't settle anything. I want resolution. I want solutions and resolutions. So if you just want to settle things and, put a rug on the mess, I am not that person. I want to come and pull the rug away, clean the dirt under there, and then we can wash the rug and now it smells good and it looks good. And we're not afraid to step on it. Too many employees are going into work terrified that they're going to step on a grenade of a personality. We don't know what mood he or she is going to be in today, Joyce. We're terrified to go to work. I mean, coworkers are emailing me, my coworker is really sick because having anxiety attack because of what they're being suffering at work. That shouldn't be. Toxic workplaces are fixable. We can cure the toxicity. We just have to do. So when we start identifying that resilience deficit, the hidden stresses beneath it, the challenges that they're facing, then that's what we do with the resilience index diagnostic. It's designed to do that. It is the most, what did one client said to me? She said, it's the most gentle way to tell someone their behavior stinks. It is, because we don't have to say it. If I tell you your behavior stinks, you're going to feel defensive and you're going to want to get down my throat. But with this process, we don't have to tell you anything. We just lead you to the path where you can find it. And then you are now coming, I don't like my numbers. I don't like this. I've had some awareness. This has been raised for me. I think I want to change some things, Joyce. I think I want to change something in my work. I think I really want to change the relationship I'm having with my boss and with my coworkers. I think I need to develop my communication. So we make it safe for people to enroll in processes that will help them to develop and be their best self. It measures those 9 dimensions of well-being and shows people where they're running low on energy and clarity. Because until you can measure it, you can't manage it. I'm so tired of the calls and we need morale training. We need emotional intelligence. We need it's true. You may need all of those things, but when we come in and we do a general workshop for everybody, we're not addressing the elephant in the room. And then some leaders are saying, oh, well, I just tell everybody they need to improve. And I'm like, so what about the person who's causing all the problems? Don't they get to be told that too? So my question for you, have you ever been in a toxic workplace? Tell me, have you ever been part of a toxic work culture? What does it feel like? Is it a warm, rosy feeling? Or is it that cold feeling in the pit of your stomach where I don't want to be here? I don't like this. This is not what I signed up for. I don't want to be part of that process. Once we've diagnosed, in step 2, we want to create a safe place, right? So safe awareness raising. We want to create awareness for people, but we don't want to shove things down people's throats. Oh, here you go. No, we want a gentle way to create awareness. Healing starts with safety. Maslow hierarchy of needs shows that when people feel safe, food, shelter, and safety, those are basic needs. When people feel safe, it's a lot easier for them to become aware and to start identifying more things that they need to do and fix. When I meet so-called problem employees, I don't begin with what went wrong at work. I will get this long file from the HR department or from the leader, or they have problems here. I just say, okay, thanks for letting me know. But that's not how I work with my clients. I want them to find out what is not working for them, because there is no resistance then. I'm not battling with them to say, yeah, you have a problem here. That's where why would I waste my energy doing that? Let them. So what I created is a process where they tell me, Joyce, I don't like this. I don't like what's happening in my life. I don't like what's happening in this area of my life. I want to fix this area of my life. Can you help me? Like, who doesn't want to be invited? I don't know about you, but I love invitations. So I want to create an opportunity where they're going to invite me. And once we do that, we help them to start making the wrong right. Yes. I don't begin with what's wrong. I start them off as a person. I ask, how are you doing in these areas? That's non-judgmental. I want to invite that self-awareness because it is the foundation of resilience. When we have that, we feel strong because we know we're not wondering, we're not ignorant of what's going on. We have information that we can use. And then number three, we want to illuminate, we want to magnify, right? We want to magnify the issue. So when they go through the assessment and they see those areas of their lives and they're like, well, is it me? It's not just one piece. You have 9 dimensions and there's something in your life that's going well. So we're going to celebrate what's working well and then we're going to work on what's not working well. So whether it's spiritual, social, emotional, intellectual, whatever dimension of your life, because inside of each of those dimensions, there are other elements. For instance, when someone shows up at work with low self-esteem, that's a deficit in the spiritual dimension. But that can affect every aspect of that person's life. Because when you talk to someone who has low self-esteem, they hear their negative judgment. And so they interpret your words based on how they feel about themselves. And you're like, how did what I say there become what this person is saying that I said? Because that, I don't think like that. That is not even in my thought process. So where is that coming from? It's coming from their low self-esteem because they don't feel good about themselves. They don't feel they deserve certain things. So when you speak to them in a manner that you think is normal for everybody, but there is such a deficit that they can't hear you right. The communication breakdown is there. And now we can understand each other. We're speaking the same language, but we're not. Because I'm hearing something very different based on my worldview, based on my low self-esteem. And so I may be accusing you of something that you didn't mean. So now we have confusion. Now we have misunderstanding. Now we have miscommunication. And so what we do, most of us say, oh, we're going to do a communication training for everyone. Why don't you do an assessment? Get them to do the resilience diagnostic, do the well-being intelligence system, get that intelligence, and now know exactly what your employees need. So stop wasting money and throwing all these, let's give them more training. Let's do this. What do they really need? Give them the tools, give them the opportunity to look at themselves and to see what it is they need. Because when one area of your life is neglected, it affects communication, it affects relationships, it affects performance. It affects people's ability to understand each other. The waste framework shines light on those blind spots and reconnects people to their full humanity and to their team members. When we go in and we have team members go through the assessment and they all get their results and they're all looking at their numbers and they're like, oh yeah, this area, that brought my numbers down. Yeah, maybe I can do this. This is a way I can. And so they will come, they'll email back. I don't like this area upon my report. And last week I was working with a group and one employee says, balance is really bugging me. I just can't get that balance. And I'm like, balance is not outside yourself. It is something internally. So now let's help you to connect with that so you can manage it. So when something happens at work, you're not further thrown off balance because of something in your personal life or something in your work. So you can actually stay grounded and get good work done. Number 4, we want to restore energy and regulation. So now we go into restore, right? We want to restore the energy because that's where we do. We really use the same steps. We diagnose, right? We create safe awareness, we magnify, we restore, because that's where people get the tools. Once people can see where their resilience leaking is, they can start rebuilding, and they can't wait to start. They ask you, Joyce, how do I do this? How do I get? When employees learn micro practices to restore their balance, restore their emotional regulation, they are building resilience currency. That's the ability to replenish energy, reframe stress, reset the nervous system. That is something they need, and we need to give them that. So let's talk about rebuilding, because that is the step 5, is a rebuild. And that is the biggest tool that you can give your employees, is the ability to rebuild their energy and build what we call that resilience ecosystem for themselves, for their teams, in their workplaces, because truly that's really what makes us successful. A healthy workplace is an ecosystem. Every individual well-being contributes to the collective. If you're not doing well, you're going to draw from the energy of the workplace, and you're going to bring negative energy that's going to cause us all to suffer at work. So we have this opportunity to make a difference. And if you know more, if you want to know more about our work, I am doing on November 20th, I'm doing the Resilience Wealth Summit. This is an opportunity for you to yourself assess your well-being, use the diagnostic tool, understand your resilience index, and then be able to make some difference changes in your life. Experience the same awareness and illumination that my clients experience, so you can master your life. Like, don't you want to? Like, our clients are doing the assessment. Every 90 days they come back in, they check to see how they're doing, they're asking questions, they're like, okay, I did this, I'm doing much better here, I can answer this question better, I feel better about myself in this area, I hadn't paid attention to this area in my life, now I'm going to pay attention to this area, I'm going to do more to build up this area, because that's the process, that's how we do it, that's how you grow. And without growth, we stay stuck and stagnant in a workplace where we are not growing, and it stays toxic. And we're wondering why we have low resilience, why our teams aren't doing well, and why we're struggling with burnout. That, my friend, is the key reason why we are. So, if you'd like to learn more about the well-being intelligence system and how to do that resilience index, as we call it, the RX, the culture from the inside out, then you need to visit me at interpersonalwellness.com, or you can check us out at wizresilience.com, where you can go directly to the resilience index and get a free account. Start dabbling into the assessment, learning more, connect with us, learn how to get your corporate dashboard so you can see what's happening, give your employees access so they can start finding out where they're not doing well and getting the tools to do it. Because you know what? Until we start diagnosing, we cannot create awareness. And when we shame and blame people, they become resistant. When we give them gentle awareness, they get on fire. They get on fire to do the very thing that we desire for them to do. But you don't push people. Adults don't like to be told what to do. They want to always feel that they discover it on their own. And that's what we've created with the Resilience Index. We give them the opportunity to discover it on their own, take ownership, and feel like they're making a difference, and that they are the ones making the changes they desire, not being forced to do it by anyone else. Until next time, this is Joyce Odidison. Stay well. Keep building your resilience currency, because it is the currency we need in this generation. And remember, culture doesn't change people. Resilient people change cultures. Next time.